Okay, everybody, so I apologize for not being there in person today. I had a quick emergency that I had to deal with, something that could not be avoided, so I am in the valley right now. So I apologize, but I didn't want to waste another full day of instruction since we spent all of Thursday TSI testing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of review early. We're going to do some practice for our LEQ, because remember, your next exam is just an LEQ. There's no MCQ, there's no SAQ, there's no DBQ. It's just an LEQ. So the thing we're going to do today, or that you are going to do today, is you're going to work on the historical analysis skills that we talked about last week. So basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk through these really quick again, and then I'm going to show you your assignment and what you need to do, and then you submit it in Google Classroom, and that is that. You're done. So it should just be, what you use for that class time you can use now, and hey, if it's early, so be it, it's early. But so, let's get into this. Historical analysis skills. The first one, the first reasoning process, as AP calls it, right, is comparison. And all a comparison is literally, and I mean this, compare and contrast. How can you tell an LEQ prompt is asking a comparison question? Usually there will be two or more, but usually it'll be two different developments. So, for example, explain the differences between French and Spanish colonization. Right? That's comparison. Sometimes the prompt's just going to give it away for free, and it'll say, compare and contrast this and this. But usually you'll see, explain to the extent of which the Gilded Age, or the First Great Awakening, I should say, resembled the Second. Right? Like, that's comparison. So comparison is comparing and contrasting two different things, explaining the similarities and the differences, and always try to make sure you include both. So that is a comparison essay. That is a comparison question. So we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about causation. Alright, causation is usually, how did something happen? What caused, or what effects were caused by a certain event? So it'll be like, hey, talk about why something happened. So our practice LEQ we did last week about how did technological innovations cause the market revolution, that's a causation essay. And sometimes the prompt will give it to you. It'll say, hey, how did this cause this from this time? Right? It's a causation. Even though there's dates in there and other stuff, causation. What caused this? Or what effect did this have? Or how did the American Revolution affect democracy in the New World? Right? Or how did the expedition of Lewis and Clark impact the Native American populations in North America? It'll be questions like that. Hey, what caused this? Or what was the cause of this? That's a causation essay. That is a causation analysis skill. So now let's go to continuity and change. Continuity and change is a little harder to diagnose, because the tricky part about it is you have to track something happening over time, and most LEQ prompts give you time periods, right? Explain the effects of American expansion from 1800 to 1860 on Native Americans. Right? That is a question that has time periods, but it's closer to causation than it is continuity and change. But what is a continuity and change? It's a pattern over time. So explain patterns of continuity over time. How did markets grow from 1848 or from 1800 to 1848? That's continuity and change. What were markets like before, and how did they slowly grow? How did populations change from 1800 to 1848? That's continuity and change. It has to have the date, but it has to be one thing tracked over time. Continuity and change typically doesn't ask you about effects, doesn't ask you about causes. It's not talking about two or more things. It's one thing over a period of time. That's a continuity and change question. So those are the three skills. So now I'm going to show you the assignment next. Alright, so this is going to be in Google Classroom. It'll be under an assignment called Historical Thinking Practice, or Historical Thinking Skills Practice is what it'll be called. And it'll be posted by the time you're in class today, whether you're the in-person group or you're virtual. You'll see this posted in Google Classroom, and I'll make a post about it on Teams, sharing the link again. Now, what I gave you the chart from the slide. I gave it to you already so you can reference it. And now here are the directions and an example that I provided. So you're going to use the video that you're watching right now and the chart. And then you're going to identify which historical analysis skill or thinking skill is in the prompts below. I gave you 5 prompts to read the prompt and decide which skill we're using and then why. So then you're going to identify which part of the prompt gave you that answer. This is the only time I'm going to have you directly quote something. We don't direct quote in history except this one time. So the example I gave you, this is last week's prompt, right? Evaluate the extent to which new technologies caused the market revolution from the period of 1800 to 1848. What analysis skill was it? Causation. What's my evidence? To the extent to which new technologies caused the market revolution. So you have 5 prompts to choose from. Not to choose from, I'm sorry. You got to answer all 5 prompts. Just give me the analysis skill and find the evidence. Take your time. Take it seriously. This counts as a grade. I'm going to look over them over the weekend. So take your time and take them seriously. When you finish, you got one last thing to do. Pick one of the prompts, one of the 5, whichever one you're most comfortable with. If you got to do a little research to refresh your memory or reference your notes, that's fine. But pick one of the 5 and make a thesis about those. Again, a full thesis, not just a statement, right? A full one. So you got to give me your response, that's arguable. And you got to give me your reasons why, right? So let's go back to, right? Railroads caused the market revolution because rapid transport led to expanding markets. Because of this, this, and this, right? You got to give me your because of this and this. So make sure you include a full thesis. And that is all I have for you. So make sure this is submitted in Google Classroom. The due date will be 7 o'clock today because I'm having you write a little bit. I want to give you a little bit of time. And we are going to go over these next week when we do exam review. So on Monday when I get back, we will do the last bit of content for Unit 4. And then we're getting right into review so that way we can get ready for our exam. If you have any questions, message me on Teams. I should still be available for the most part. All right, guys. Have a great day and a great weekend. I'll see you all next time.